The galaxy had always looked at Earth with curiosity, suspicion, and sometimes pity. Most civilizations believed humans were weak, unprepared, and small compared to the great fleets of the Galactic Empire. Ships that could crush entire planets were standard across the stars. Yet Earth, they thought, had none. But humans had always been clever, quiet, patient, waiting. Commander Alara Voss stared at the holographic map in the command room aboard the Aegis, the flagship of Earth's hidden war fleet. Her eyes, sharp and steady, scanned the points of light representing the Empire's scouting fleets. She clenched her fists, trying to keep her calm. The galaxy had no idea what humans were capable of, and it was time to ensure that mistakes stayed theirs. "Status report," she said. Her voice was firm, but the tension in the room was clear. Lieutenant Reen, a young but skilled officer, stepped forward. Sensors confirmed multiple Imperial scouts moving towards Earth. They're probing the outer colonies. They suspect nothing yet. Alara narrowed her eyes. "Yet," she repeated softly. She knew the Empire's arrogance well. It was dangerous. They underestimated humans because humans hid their true strength, and that arrogance could cost billions of lives if mismanaged. Suddenly, the communication console flickered. A message from Earth Central Command blinked urgently. The code was encrypted, meaning this was a desperate call, not routine traffic. Alara's heart raced. "Patch it through," she ordered. A holographic figure appeared. Admiral Kale, the head of Earth's planetary defense, looked old at his age, worry etched in every line of his face. "Alara," he said without preamble, "we have a situation. The Empire has detected unusual activity in the asteroid belt near Mars. We thought our cloaking systems were perfect, but they're investigating. If they discover even a fraction of our fleet, we'll have no chance to control the narrative." Alara leaned forward. "How many scouts?" "2 full battle cruisers, and they're calling for reinforcements." Kale said grimly, "They're moving faster than expected. The fleet is not ready for open confrontation yet. We need a plan. Now." The command room fell silent. Every officer knew the weight of the words. Humanity had spent decades quietly building a fleet in secret. Ships designed for speed, stealth, and power, hidden beneath the guise of research stations and commercial transport. If the Empire discovered even 1 battalion of human warships, the galaxy would come crashing down on Earth immediately. Alara took a deep breath. "Options." Kale's eyes met hers through the hologram. "Option 1. We retreat deeper into the asteroid fields, hiding every ship. We can delay them, but it's temporary. Option 2. We send a small, visible force to engage them, show enough strength to make them hesitate, but not enough to reveal the full fleet." Alara considered it. She knew the risk. Any mistake could lead to immediate war, but hiding forever would not keep humans safe. If the Empire ever found a full fleet, the punishment would be absolute. "We can't retreat," she said firmly. "They will follow, and they'll learn our true strength anyway. We need a controlled reveal, a test, a signal that humans are not weak." Kale hesitated. "It's dangerous. Even a small engagement could escalate." "We'll control it," Alara interrupted. "We'll make them believe they're seeing only a fraction. Let them underestimate us for now." There was a long pause. Finally, Kale nodded. "Very well, but you must be careful. If this goes wrong, humanity's secret ends today." Alara turned to her tactical officers. "Prepare the fleet. Cloak the majority. Select a strike group of 10 ships. They will perform the first engagement. Everyone else stays hidden. We can't risk exposing more than necessary." Lieutenant Reen raised an eyebrow. "Cloak and strike. How do we ensure they see us at all?" Alara smiled faintly, a cold edge in her expression. "We want them to see exactly what we choose. Not more, not less. Humans have always been underestimated. It's time to remind them why." The officers moved quickly. Orders were sent. Ships maneuvered into position, and sensors were recalibrated. For the first time in decades, humans were about to make the galaxy aware that they were not powerless. Meanwhile, in the Empire's command center, Admiral Soren stared at the incoming data. "Strange energy signatures near Mars," he muttered. "Why does Earth suddenly appear active? We were told they had no war capability beyond research vessels. The officers around him murmured in disbelief. It can't be. They're just humans. Soren's fingers slammed on the console. Prepare scouts. Find out what is happening immediately. Back on the Aegis, Alara watched the scouts approach. She could feel the tension like a physical weight in the room. Every officer moved with quiet efficiency, the result of years of preparation and training. They were ready, but the stakes were enormous. A signal blinked. Imperial scouts were entering sensor range. Alara's voice cut through the room, calm but commanding. Initiate visual contact. Engage the decoy ships. Remember, we are humans. We survive through cleverness, not brute force alone. Make them wonder, make them fear what they cannot see. The first scout ship appeared on the visual display. Sleek and silver, equipped with weapons far beyond anything humans had openly displayed. Alara's heart thumped. This was the moment that could ignite a war or secure humanity's place in the galaxy forever. The decoy ships moved forward, perfectly synchronized, launching non-lethal missile demonstrations that lit up the dark expanse of space. Energy shields flared, weapon systems hummed, and the scouts recorded everything. Signal sent, Lieutenant Reen said, his voice trembling with excitement and fear. Alara's eyes never left the display. She could see the Imperial officers reacting, panic, disbelief, and confusion all at once. The galaxy's perception of Earth was about to change. A sudden alert flashed on the console. Incoming transmission from Imperial Command, Reen announced. Alara's eyes narrowed. Patch it through? A hologram shimmered into existence. A young Imperial officer, clearly shaken, appeared. Humans, we underestimated you. Your fleet, it's unlike anything in the records. Please, we request dialogue. Do not escalate. Alara's lips curled into a faint smile. Not escalation, she said softly. Observation. Consider this a warning. Humanity has survived by being underestimated. Let that remain a lesson to you. The transmission ended. Silence filled the command room, heavy with tension. Every officer knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy had glimpsed humans' hidden strength, but no one yet knew the full extent. Alara stepped back from the console, her mind racing. She could feel the eyes of the entire Galactic Empire, even from light years away, turning toward Earth with a mix of fear and curiosity. For decades, humans had waited quietly, building in secret, planning and training. And now, the first signal had been sent. A signal that would make the galaxy realize humans were not to be taken lightly. Yet, even as she exhaled, a nagging thought lingered. Somewhere, hidden in the Empire's vast bureaucracy, someone was already planning a response. And Alara knew with absolute certainty that the next move would be theirs. She turned to her officers. Prepare for anything. The Empire will act, but we will be ready. This is only the first call. Humanity has survived much worse than fear, and we will survive this. Outside, the stars stretched infinitely, silent witnesses to the first act of a secret war that no one had expected. Humanity was no longer hiding, and the galaxy, for the first time, would pay attention. The desperate call had been made. The game had begun. The galaxy was not ready for what humans had hidden. Even the smallest glimpse of Earth's fleet had sent ripples of fear through the Imperial command. Officers whispered about the audacity of a planet so supposedly insignificant, yet capable of hiding a force that could rival entire sectors. On board the Aegis, Commander Alara Voss stood at the observation deck, her eyes scanning the stars. Every flicker of light could be an enemy scout, every anomaly a trap. The first engagement had been a calculated risk, a decoy to gauge Imperial reaction. But the Empire's panic had been more profound than expected. Commander, Lieutenant Reen called, his voice urgent. We have multiple contacts on the outer sensors. They're not scouts, they're reconnaissance cruisers, and their formation is unusual. They seem to be coordinating, almost as if they know exactly where we are. Alara's jaw tightened. Someone inside the Empire has knowledge we didn't anticipate, she muttered. Her mind raced. For decades, humanity had relied on stealth, intelligence, and secrecy. To think the Empire might already know part of their fleet's location was alarming. We need to move, she said. Prepare the secondary cloaks. All non-essential ships vanish from their sensors. We cannot allow them to map even a single corridor of our fleet. The officers worked with quiet efficiency. Holographic consoles blinked as ships dematerialized from enemy sensors, leaving only the decoy group visible. The decoy was meant to draw attention, but now it was clear. The Empire's reaction suggested more than curiosity. They were hunting. Meanwhile, the Imperial scouts were not idle. Admiral Soren had gathered a small council, including intelligence officers and fleet commanders. "We have confirmed anomalies in Earth's outer system," Soren said, frustration in his tone. "Their fleet is not only larger than we expected, but their formations, their tactical geniuses. We cannot predict their next move." One officer spoke hesitantly. "Admiral, perhaps it's better to withdraw and gather reinforcements. We risk too much by engaging blindly." Soren slammed a fist on the table. "Withdraw? Earth has revealed their hand. If we retreat now, the entire galaxy will assume humans are stronger than we believed. We cannot appear weak. Prepare a probe fleet to shadow them. Learn their movements. Do not underestimate them again." Back on the Aegis, the human fleet moved with eerie precision. Every ship followed protocols that were decades in the making. Cloaked carriers hummed silently, while decoy frigates danced in the empty space, luring Imperial sensors into false readings. Ilera observed her officers. "We are humans," she reminded them. "Not the largest, not the strongest, but cunning, patient, and relentless. The Empire believes we are weak. Let us continue their lesson." A sudden alert rang through the ship. Multiple transmissions detected, all encrypted. Messages from within the Empire. Someone is trying to communicate with Earth. Ilera frowned. "Patch it through?" A hologram appeared, distorted by interference. A figure, hooded and cautious, spoke in a low voice. "Humans, you do not understand the danger you face. There are factions within the Empire who do not follow the Council. They will strike if provoked. Your fleet, it is at risk." Ilera's eyes narrowed. "Who are you? What is your motive?" "I am a spy," the figure whispered. "A minority. I am warning you. They know more than you think. They know your fleet's hidden corridors, your decoy systems. They will not hesitate." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the command room in stunned silence. "Did anyone else hear that?" Reen asked. Ilera did not respond immediately. Her mind raced. This was unexpected. A spy, a faction, knowledge of their hidden fleet. It complicated everything. But it also meant humans were not facing the full might of the Empire yet. They were being tested. "Prepare contingency protocols," she finally said. "All ships on high alert. This spy may be trying to warn us, or they may be setting a trap. Either way, we cannot ignore it." Hours passed as the fleet moved carefully. Cloak carriers slipped past asteroid belts, energy shields shimmer with invisible light, and decoy frigates continued their dance, drawing Imperial eyes and scanners away from the real positions. Suddenly, a massive tremor ran through the fleet's sensors. "Commander!" Reen shouted. "Incoming vessel, cloaked. Not a scout, a dreadnought-class ship." Ilera felt her pulse quicken. "Impossible," she whispered. The Empire had no reason to send such a massive ship without cause. "Raise shields and hold formation," she ordered. The dreadnought emerged in the shadows, a colossus of dark metal, bristling with weapons. Its engines flared, revealing patterns that suggested intelligence beyond typical Imperial command. The human fleet held its ground. Decoy ships launched bright flares and sensor jammers, creating confusion. But the dreadnought moved carefully, scanning, analyzing, anticipating. It was as if it knew exactly what to expect, and still pressed forward. "Commander," Reen said, voice tense, "they're probing our shields. They're testing us, learning us." Ilera's mind raced. "We need to counter their probe without revealing our true strength." Engage the Phantom sequence. The fleet executed a series of maneuvers designed to mislead the enemy. Sensors displayed multiple Phantom fleets, each a holographic illusion, moving unpredictably. The dreadnought sensors were flooded, overwhelmed, confused. "Impressive," Reen muttered. "Even their dreadnought cannot read us." Ilera allowed herself a small smile. "Humans are underestimated for a reason. Let's remind them why. But even as they celebrated small victories, tension lingered. The spy's warning replayed in Alera's mind. Factions within the Empire, knowledge of hidden corridors, and the unknown motives of the Dreadnought's commander. The night sky outside the fleet shimmered with distant stars, but it felt oppressive, heavy, as though the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Then, the unexpected happened. The Dreadnought fired a non-lethal energy pulse, not to destroy, but to map, to scan, to intimidate. It hit one of the decoy frigates, revealing the human fleet's cunning and their ability to absorb and mislead enemy sensors. Alera's voice was calm but cold. Record everything. Let them see us, but not our full power. Every move, every reaction, it's a message. The Dreadnought withdrew slightly, reassessing, scanning again. The humans had survived the first test, but Alera knew the Empire would not stop here. They had seen something they should not have. Hours turned into tension-filled cycles. Small skirmishes, sensor battles, and energy pulses defined the day. Every human officer operated with precision, a silent symphony of discipline and strategy. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the Dreadnought disengaged. The fleet held position, tension slowly easing but never fully leaving. Alera turned to her officers. This was only the beginning. The Empire has seen our strength, our tactics. They will return and stronger. But humans are patient, cunning, and resilient. They believe we are weak. Let them keep thinking that. As the fleet settled into temporary cloaks, Alera's communicator blinked. Another encrypted message, this time from Earth's command. She activated it immediately. Commander, Admiral Kale's hologram appeared, urgency in his eyes. Reports are coming in. Imperial scouts have sent back fragmented data. They are panicked, but they're organizing. There is a faction that believes Earth must be attacked preemptively. We do not know their numbers, or when they will strike. You must prepare for escalation. Humanity's secret is partially out. Alera nodded slowly. Then we prepare. Every hidden ship, every corridor, every maneuver must be ready. The next move is theirs, but we will be ready to turn it to our advantage. The stars stretched infinitely around them, silent witnesses to the beginning of a war the galaxy had never imagined. And somewhere in the shadows, the Dreadnought-class ship relayed information back to the Empire. Knowledge of Earth's fleet was spreading, but only partially. Enough to strike fear, not enough to challenge humanity fully. Alera's lips curled into a determined smile. The game had evolved. Humans were no longer unseen, but they were far from defeated. The shadows in the fleet were deep, mysterious, and dangerous. But humanity had always thrived in darkness, waiting, observing, striking when least expected. And now, the real game, the war of secrets, shadows, and strategy, was about to begin. The galaxy had taken notice. Humans, long thought to be primitive, were suddenly a puzzle the Empire could not solve. Every scout that returned told of decoy fleets, holographic illusions, and tactics that no one expected from a planet they believed to be defenseless. Yet for every success, there was a shadow, a hint that someone within the Empire knew more than they should. Commander Alera Voss stood on the Aegis's observation deck once again, her eyes scanning the dark void of space. The decoy operations had worked, but the Dreadnought-class ship that had approached them lingered in her mind. It was not just a ship. It was a symbol of intelligence, precision, and calculation. Whoever commanded it was testing humans, measuring every reaction, probing every weakness. Commander, Lieutenant Reen said, his voice tense. New transmissions intercepted. Imperial internal communications. Someone is leaking information about our fleet's movements. Alera clenched her jaw. A spy, she muttered. We knew it would come to this. But how much do they know? Sensors lit up, revealing faint energy traces in regions that should have been empty. The ghost of movement, invisible to the naked eye, yet detectable by advanced algorithms. They're close, Reen whispered. Too close. Someone within their ranks knows our hidden paths, our cloaks, and they're using it. Alera paced. The weight of responsibility pressed on her shoulders. Humans had survived for centuries, quietly building strength while the galaxy mocked them. Now, their secret was partially exposed. Any mistake could trigger full-scale war. Yet, She could feel the thrill beneath the tension. Humans thrived on challenges, on cleverness, on the unexpected. "Activate Project Web," she ordered. The command room lights shifted, holograms flickering into complex displays of the fleet. Project Web was a network of hidden traps, sensor loops, and tactical illusions. Decades in planning, now ready to spring. Reen stared at her. "This is risky, Commander. If the Empire sees even part of it." Illyra's voice was cold but certain. "That is the point. They must see enough to fear, but never the full pattern. We turn their curiosity into their weakness." The fleet moved through the asteroid belt with precision. Cloak carriers drifted among jagged rocks, while phantom ships shimmered briefly, creating the illusion of a massive force. Holographic decoys flashed in patterns calculated to confuse and mislead Imperial sensors. The humans were playing a dangerous game, and every move counted. Meanwhile, deep within the Empire's command center, Admiral Soren watched in frustration. "There are patterns that are impossible to track. Every sensor we use returns contradictions. Where's the fleet? How many ships are there? Every calculation fails." An intelligence officer leaned in, voice hesitant. "Admiral, I believe we have a leak within our system. Someone is guiding us into false readings." "The humans?" "Enough," Soren snapped. "Focus on the Dreadnought-class ship. It is likely the command vector. Track it. Do not allow humans to play games with our fleet again." Back in the shadows of space, the human decoy ships initiated a series of maneuvers known as the Phantom Spiral. Each ship moved unpredictably, switching positions, creating false sensor readings that painted the fleet as 3 times its actual size. Imperial dreadnought sensors attempted to calculate, but algorithms failed, overwhelmed by the precision and unpredictability of human tactics. "Commander," Reen said, pointing at the sensor display. "They're responding. The dreadnought is attempting a full analysis, but the data is inconsistent. It cannot determine our true numbers." Illyra allowed herself a small smile. "Perfect. Let them waste energy, resources, and time chasing shadows." But the victory was short-lived. A sudden alert rang out. "Commander, incoming warp signature, unknown vessel, closing fast." Illyra's heart skipped. Unknown warp signatures were dangerous. It could be a rogue Imperial fleet, or worse, a weapon designed for rapid attack. She activated the fleet's emergency protocols. Cloaks intensified. Shields shimmered, and phantom fleets scattered across multiple vectors. The vessel emerged from warp, revealing an unfamiliar design. Sleek, angular, almost alien in appearance. Its energy signature was massive, unlike anything the humans had faced before. "Commander, it's not Imperial," Reen whispered, awe and fear mixing in his voice. Illyra's mind raced. "Identify origin." Immediately, sensors scrambled. Preliminary scans suggested the vessel carried advanced technology not cataloged in Imperial databases. Its weapons were dormant, yet the threat was undeniable. Someone or something had been watching humans, preparing to intervene. A sudden transmission echoed across human channels, encrypted and foreign. The hologram shimmered into view, revealing a figure cloaked in shadows. "Humans," the voice said, calm but commanding, "we have been observing. Your fleet is remarkable, but you are at risk. The Empire is not your only threat. A council within its plans, dangerous plans. You must act carefully." Illyra's eyes narrowed. "Who are you?" "We are called the Watchers," the figure replied. "We monitor balance in the galaxy. Your fleet, it is an anomaly. If the Empire fully discovers it, chaos will spread. You have allies, whether you realize it or not. But some factions wish to see humans destroyed." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the command room in stunned silence. Reen's voice trembled. "Commander allies? And yet, threats we don't even know." Illyra nodded slowly. "We are no longer playing a simple game of hide and seek. The galaxy is a web, and we are at its center now. Every move must be precise. Every action deliberate. For hours, the fleet navigated the asteroid belts, using Project Web to confuse any who might follow. The unknown vessel lingered at the edge of sensor range, neither hostile nor friendly, observing every human maneuver with silent scrutiny. Suddenly, A breach alarm sounded. Sensors detected a small Imperial squadron attempting to intercept one of the hidden carriers. The humans had anticipated this. They had left a trap. Engage the Phantom Strike, Ilera ordered. Ships moved like shadows, wrapping around the unsuspecting squadron. Holographic duplicates surrounded them, laser pulses flaring in unexpected directions. The Imperial squadron faltered, firing at ghosts, miscalculating positions, their cohesion breaking apart. Target neutralized, Reen reported. No human casualties. Ilera's eyes remain on the observation deck. They think this is a skirmish. They believe they are learning, but they are not. Every move we make is a lesson they cannot understand. Hours turned into 10 cycles. Every human officer worked with precision, yet the pressure never diminished. Somewhere within the Empire, factions were plotting, spies were moving, and unknown observers lurked at the edges of space. Ilera knew the cost of mistakes. She had seen history. Civilizations destroyed not by strength, but by miscalculation. Humanity had survived by patience, cunning, and unity, and she would ensure that it remained so. As the fleet settled for a temporary hold, another encrypted transmission arrived. This one carried only coordinates in a single word: trust. Ilera's eyes narrowed. Trust from whom? The Watchers? A spy within the Empire? Or a test set by someone watching humanity's every move? Prepare for movement, she said to her officers. The galaxy is no longer quiet. Shadows are everywhere, and every shadow may contain a knife. The stars stretched infinitely, silent witnesses to the games being played. The human fleet was no longer a hidden secret. They were a puzzle, a threat, a force the galaxy had underestimated. Yet even in the darkness, Ilera felt something remarkable. Humanity had always thrived on challenges, on cleverness, and on courage. And now, with the Empire watching, spies lurking, and unknown forces at the edges, humans would show the galaxy the power of patience, strategy, and unity. The web of shadows had tightened around them. But humans were masters of the web, and the real game, the war of intellect, stealth, and cunning, was only beginning. The galaxy had never been so tense. Word of human secret fleet had spread like fire through the Imperial corridors. Rumors, half-truths, and fragmented sensor data left the Empire in chaos. Yet, for every Imperial officer who panicked, there was another who saw opportunity. To strike, to seize, to dominate. Humanity had forced the game into the open. Now, the final act was about to begin. Commander Ilera Voss stood on the bridge of the Aegis, her gaze fixed on the stars. Every ship in her fleet was ready. Cloak carriers, swift frigates, and decoy drones each had a role. Every maneuver had been tested in simulations, perfected in shadows, and now they were ready for the ultimate reveal. Lieutenant Reen approached, voice low. "Commander, intelligence reports indicate multiple Imperial factions converging near the Orion Expanse. Their fleets are gathering. They suspect more than our decoys, but they do not know the full strength." Ilera's eyes narrowed. "Good. Let them prepare for a ghost fleet. Then we will show them reality. Humanity has survived by patience, cunning, and calculation. Today we survive, and they will understand our costs." The human fleet slipped from cloaks and shadows, emerging like a phantom armada. Holographic decoys flickered, hiding the true numbers of ships, while sensor jammers spread confusion among Imperial scanners. The galaxy would see them, but only fragment at first. Then the Dreadnought-class ship from the previous encounters appeared at the edge of the fleet. Its commander, an unknown genius in Imperial strategy, watched, intrigued. The humans had survived tests, traps, and espionage, and now revealed a glimpse of their full capability. "Commander," Reen said, voice tense with excitement. "They're responding. Signals indicate panic and calculation. They cannot understand our numbers." Ilera's lips curved into a faint smile. "Perfect. Let them think they see only a portion. The rest is our secret weapon." The fleet moved with precision. Hidden carriers released fighter squadrons that shimmered like sparks across the void. Energy shields flared. Cloaking maneuvers confused scanners, and decoy fleets swirled like phantoms. The galaxy saw humans as clever, unpredictable, and terrifying. Suddenly, an Imperial flagship emerged from warp. the size of a small moon, bristling with weapons. Its commander, Admiral Soren, finally understood the scale of what humans had hidden. He raised his voice to the council. "They are not weak," Soren said. "They are prepared. Every calculation we had was wrong. This is not a planet with a fleet. This is an entire hidden armada." Back on the Aegis, Ilera watched the Imperial flagship approach. She activated the fleet's command sequence. "Display the Eclipse Array," she ordered. The Eclipse Array was humanity's secret weapon, a network of carrier ships forming a giant grid, generating controlled energy pulses, holographic shields, and synchronized fighter swarms. The display was mesmerizing, terrifying, and brilliant. Imperial sensors scrambled, unable to determine the number of ships, the position of real targets, or the true strength of Earth's armada. Panic spread through the enemy lines. Admiral Soren's fleet faltered, unsure which signals were real, which were decoys, and which were traps. "Commander, they're attempting to target our carriers," Green reported. "But the holographic projections are perfect. Every shot misses." Ilera's voice was calm, resolute. "Let them see fear. Let them see cleverness. Let them learn the cost of underestimating humans." In the distance, the unknown vessel, the one that had watched silently, shifted position. Its energy signature pulsed in synchronization with humanity's fleet. Was it ally or observer? Ilera did not know. She didn't need to. The focus was on survival, strategy, and revelation. The first strike came from the Empire, massive energy beams, targeting what they believed were carriers and frigates. They hit holograms and decoys, harmlessly exploding in simulated brilliance. Human fighter squadrons emerged from cloak carriers, flanking the Imperial vessels and creating confusion. Every move was precise. Every maneuver calculated to teach a lesson without firing a true destructive volley. Ilera observed from the command bridge. "They think this is chaos," she said. "They do not know it is a lesson. And lessons, when learned, are costly." Hours passed. The Imperial fleets tried to regroup, but every action was anticipated. Every formation predicted. Humans were not stronger in sheer firepower. They were stronger in cunning strategy and deception. Every Imperial officer knew it. Panic spread like wildfire. Orders conflicted, and the fear of the unknown, Earth's true fleet, haunted every decision. Then came the most unexpected moment. A massive Imperial battleship tried to warp behind the human fleet, hoping to catch them by surprise. Ilera had anticipated it. The fleet shifted as one, cloak carriers forming a perfect trap. Energy pulses projected barriers in space, redirecting the battleship's momentum. It emerged unharmed but trapped, unable to attack without exposing itself to the full force of human precision. "Commander," Reen said, awed, "they're trapped. Every path leads into our control. We are dominating without a single shot fired." Ilera's eyes were fierce. "That is the power of being underestimated. Let them see humans as clever, adaptable, and dangerous. War is not only firepower. It is foresight, patience, and precision." Imperial sensors finally detected fragments of the true fleet. Massive carriers, dreadnought-class warships, hidden in cloaks. Admiral Soren's voice cracked over the comm. How many ships?" Ilera remained calm, letting the silence answer him. The galaxy would learn the cost of disbelief. Then, a new transmission arrived, encrypted, from the Watchers. Their holographic figure appeared. "Commander Voss," the figure said, voice low and echoing. "The galaxy now knows a fragment of your strength. The Empire is panicked. But beware, other powers will react. Some may ally, some may strike. Trust is fragile, and the web is larger than you see." Ilera nodded, her mind racing. "We will remain vigilant. Humanity survives through intelligence, foresight, and courage. We will meet every challenge." The stars stretched infinitely around them, silent witnesses to Earth's power reveal. For the first time, the galaxy could no longer dismiss humans as weak, insignificant, or naive. Yet, even in victory, tension lingered. Unknown forces had observed the fleet. Imperial factions were fractured but still dangerous. And whispers of rebellion, espionage, and hidden enemies grew louder. Ilera turned to her officers. "Today, humans have revealed a fraction of our strength. Tomorrow, The galaxy will remember the cost. Prepare for movement. Cloak the fleet. Regroup. We have shown them the lesson. But the war is only beginning. The human fleet receded into shadows, leaving behind a galaxy in awe, fear, and confusion. Imperial commanders could only guess at the true size and power of the Earth Armada. Every calculation had failed. Every prediction was wrong. Humanity had rewritten the rules of engagement. And somewhere, in the far reaches of space, the Watchers recorded everything, silently monitoring, waiting for the next move. Delara gazed at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of victory. Humanity had survived its first true test, outsmarting the galaxy without a single true shot fired. But deep in the shadows, a whisper traveled across Imperial channels. Earth's secret is partially revealed. Next time, it will cost them everything. Delara's lips curled into a determined smile. The galaxy may now know humans exist, but it did not yet know the full cost of their ingenuity, patience, and resilience. The stage was set. The web of shadows stretched across the stars. And humanity had only just begun to play.